This has been a crazy year going public and everything.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Wicks. I'm Vice President of Listings here at Nasdaq. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Behind the Bell. And just in about 45 minutes or so, Coastal Financial, Eric Sprink, CEO, and Andy Scottdell, Chairman and Founder, will be doing the honors. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Exciting day. We're celebrating the almost 1 year anniversary of the bank's listing.
It's been great. Thank you.
Now, just for our viewers, obviously you're a financial company, but tell our viewers a little bit about the bank and some of the history. And Andy, you were actually one of the founders 22 years ago. What made you decide to start the bank then?
We saw a lot of underserved businesses in the community, and it was an opportunity to reach out and help those customers, and it turned out to be that was needed.
Yeah, so we're approaching $1 billion.
Very close.
Yesterday was our 22nd anniversary. We focus on the small business customer and community-minded individuals. 14 branches. Part of our story is a very traditional commercial-focused community bank headquartered in Everett.
Yeah. Andy, one of the things I'm always fascinated by is a company's culture. And given your tenure at the bank for its entirety, how have you seen, or has the culture of the bank changed, and how would you describe it? And Eric, certainly welcome your thoughts as well.
I think the culture has always been focused around the community, and it's become even more so. Eric's attention to the fact that we're in a growth market and the core customer that we serve, that's been the consistent thread through the entire life history of the bank.
Yeah, I mean, and it leads and starts with the directors and our founders, but we've only chosen to take that the next step and focus on community-minded individuals, small business customers, while being able to understand their needs and dealing with complex commercial credits and meeting those needs of our customers.
Yeah, and it is, the field that you're in is competitive. If you were to say, what differentiates you from the competition, what would you say?
Yeah, there's a couple of philosophies that we strive to live by, and maybe give you some examples, but we believe the relationship lies with our employees, and we push as much decision making down to the employees at every level of the company. Everyone touches customers. And compare that to the regional or national banks, to where the bank owns the customer. We believe our employees own the customer, so our focus is on taking care of our employees, empowering them, giving the products they need to deliver the services the customers need. And that keeps us honest as a company to make sure they're happy.
Yeah, and I would imagine, they probably love the autonomy and the control and being able to make decisions and ultimately better serving your customers, which it's all about.
Well, that's exactly right. We challenge them to be flexible, we challenge them to be curious, all within a regulated environment while delivering consistent earnings.
Nasdaq knows nothing about operating in a regulated environment, but we do know a thing or two. I'm sure you have many customer success stories. Over the years, is there anyone that stands out in your mind?
I've got a couple, and Andy can chime in too on these, but it was great. When I looked back at the Great Recession in 2009, 10, 11, one of the great things Coastal did was not a customer, we built a community of customers. And if we were going to lend money to you, David, we'd say, hey, will you please work with our other customers? And so we built this ecosystem around helping each other and the true definition of a village or a community, sure. Coastal Community Bank. And so that was nice, and that's kind of how we built this philosophy. Today, we're kind of evolving, keeping that mentality of community and customer focus, but also another interesting story is we just helped launch one of our fintech partners. And so we helped Aspiration Financial in meeting their customer needs and providing the banking services to a broker-dealer that uses fintech to talk to their customers.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting with us working with the regulators and helping them launch. So it's been a lot of fun. You can see us evolving as we're growing.
Truly, you've created an ecosystem of customers that are really helping each other, so which is very cool. You talk about evolution, and certainly the industry is changing and evolving. How have you seen the industry change over the past couple of years, and how do you plan for things going forward, or as you both smile?
Oh, I mean, how fast are things changing? It's changing by the minute, it feels like, which is exciting to us because it keeps it interesting, right? And you have to embrace the competition and just go with it. But we are seeing it change, right? the national banks used to have huge competitive advantages with geographic distribution. Now we can digitize some of our communities and talk to customers outside of a geography. And some banks are embracing that and some aren't. And we're trying to get ahead of that by building our digital bank and being able to deliver other banking products to a digital community.
Yeah.
The nature of the customer relationship is shifting more to whatever their affinity is. And that's a big shift. And it's one of the reasons why you see the number of banks as a raw number in the United States dropping so significantly from 6,000 down to 4,000.
Sure.
If people don't figure out that affinity relationship, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, I think it's within many businesses that you really have to adapt to your customers' needs.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, no matter what we think, we have to be meeting the customer needs and help them solve their problems. They're the ones that write our paychecks.
Andy, I asked you a question off air, and I said to you, did you ever think when you started the bank that you would be a public company? And you said, yes. What does the IPO mean for Coastal Financial, and what does it mean for you personally?
I look at the people who were with us when the bank was created, and several of those people, well, all of them, they waited a long time to be able to realize or monetize their investment. And for some of them, I'm sure they wondered whether or not during the Great Recession, more banks were going to go away, right? And so being able to come through that with a success story and make everybody whole and then some, that was a great experience, I think, for everyone who was involved in it. There was a lot of work that went into that.
Yeah.
And for the community shareholders, they're all still participating because they believe in the bank. And so that's been exciting to see as well.
And such a prominent marketplace to allow us to join is phenomenal. And we thank Nasdaq for letting Coastal Financial Corporation join. And you know, as Andy was saying, this gave us our independence.
Yeah.
Coastal Financial Corporation needed a solution so that we could give our investors an opportunity to stay in if they chose,
Yep.
or to liquidate if they didn't. So in our IPO last July, you know, we did both offerings. We did a primary offering and a secondary offering.
Yep.
The secondary offering was for some of our more complex investors that needed a solution, and Nasdaq provided us for it, which ultimately allowed us to remain on vision and on task.
Well, we're very proud to have you part of our family and very proud to be closing the market and celebrating the almost 1-year anniversary. And I appreciate your time this afternoon. Just before we go, I call this the lightning round. I throw out some random questions. I promise it won't get us in trouble, but sometimes it's fun.
Sure.
You guys ready?
The answer is Virginia. Go Virginia.
Virginia. All right.
I would have said Carolina, but
All right.
I have to put up with that for another couple days.
We see who's on which side of the coin here. You both have smartphones.
Yes.
Favorite app? Easy question. And don't say email.
No, I won't say email. I can't say that because I'm chained to it.
You know, probably the news app on Apple News. I mean, I'm on it all the time. So,
Yeah.
And for me, it's probably that little green button that still hits send. I still use the phone to talk to customers. I try not to tweet. I try not to email. I try not to text.
Yeah.
I love the phone because I can still talk to the customers,
Yeah.
and that's what we're about.
That's awesome. You both look back over your careers. Is there any advice that anyone gave you, you know, over your careers that kind of stood out and maybe you want to share?
I think the thing that I convey to people now that I wish had been conveyed to me is that everything that you think is going to take a certain amount of time is going to take longer. And you know, you have to want to be a part of the process and a part of everything that goes into it and enjoy that, because if you don't, it's going to be a long, long haul.
Gotta like what you do.
You do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. You know, and to that point, I think the advice I received about 20 years ago was enjoy every minute of each stage that you go through, good and bad.
Yeah.
Try to reflect on it, enjoy that process for whatever that process gives you. And then relaying that one step further to others, I'd say be curious, be open-minded, be flexible, embrace technology, but don't lose the human touch with your customers.
Yeah.
Right? Why
So
are you in
important.
business? Even if you do it digitally, make sure you're talking to your customers how they want to be talked to and embrace them.
Both great advice. And last question, when you're not working, and I know it's probably not often, where can we find you?
I'm snow skiing. I love
Awesome.
snow skiing, and so we spend a lot of time in Idaho and Sun Valley, and I can't wait to get there.
Finish the season.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
My wife and I have 3 daughters, and they're all very athletic and engaged in sports that play all over the country. So that's our #1 hobby is kids sports. #2 is tennis.
There you go. Well, Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
And
Dave.
Thank you
Nice
so
to
much.
meet
We look
you.
forward to closing the market in a few minutes. And for those of you watching, thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Bell with Coastal Financial Corporation.